Today we're going to look at simple interest. Simple interest is interest that is based on the entire amount of the loan. The formula we will use for simple interest is I equals PRT. Here I stands for interest, P will stand for the principal that you borrowed or invested, R is the rate of interest of the loan, and you want to always write this R as a decimal, and then T will be time in years. If the time is not given in years, say I give it in months or in days, then you need to convert it over to years, and we're going to talk more about that as we go. So let's take our first example. Samantha borrowed $850 for car repairs. She takes out a 9-month loan at 15% interest. We want to find A, the amount of interest she pays for the loan, and then B, the amount she will repay. We'll start with figuring out how much interest she will pay for the loan. In this example, our P, the amount we're borrowing, is $850. Our time is 9 months, so we always want to express our time in years, so we'll divide 9 by 12 to get our time, and then our interest rate is 15%, and we know that when we change that to a decimal, it's going to be 0.15. We're going to put this into our formula I equals PRT, which gives us 850 times 0.15 times 9 over 12. Altogether, that gives us 95.625. Now, in this chapter, anything we're doing with money, we're always going to round to 2 decimal places. Our amount of interest paid for the loan is $95.63. Now we can do part B, finding the amount she will repay for the loan. So when she repays the loan, she has to pay both the amount she borrowed, $850, plus the $95.63 she pays in interest. Think of it as the fee for borrowing the money. So together, when it's time to pay, she's going to pay $945.63. So let's try again. In this example, Carl borrowed $4,500 for 16 months in order to pay for home repairs. He pays 7% simple interest for the loan, and we want to find the amount of interest he will be charged. So let's again identify all the variables in play. So P, the amount we're borrowing, is $4,500. The interest rate R, 7%, is 0.07. And once again, we have time given in months, so we want to change that over to years. So 16 over 12 can be reduced to 4 over 3. You do not have to reduce it if you don't want to. When you put it in your calculator, it will come out with the same answer either way, so totally optional. You decide what you want to do. So here's what I put in. To figure out the interest, I have my $4,500 times 0.07 times 4 over 3, and that gives $420 that will be paid in interest for this loan. Sometimes we may want to find the future amount. Mostly this is talking about investment, or if we want to say how much do you owe like in the future. So how I said it was to find the amount owed in the future for a simple interest loan, we use the formula A equals P times 1 plus RT, where A represents the future amount of the loan. But again, this could be an investment as well. So either way this works. If I'm trying to figure out how much interest we will earn on top of the amount we put in, this formula will tell me what we will have in the future. Let's look at example 3. How much money will you have in 8 years if you invest $75 in an account paying 4% simple interest? So here's my formula, A equals P times 1 plus RT. My P is 75, my rate of interest 0.04, and the time, this time in years, so no conversion, I just leave it as 8. I'm plugging all of this in, so you can see I have 75 times parentheses 1 plus 0.04 times 8, and I close parentheses. Parentheses are really important because it establishes the order of operation that you want your calculator to use. So your calculator can't see the formula you're doing, you have to tell it the formula you're doing. So really pay close attention to parentheses anytime you're doing calculations. When I put this in my calculator, I got a total of $99. So this says, in the future, if I put $75 in now, leave it alone for 8 years, I'll have $99. Let's try again. Example 4. How much money should be invested in an account earning 6.5% simple interest in order to have $8,000 in 3 years? So this time I flipped it, and instead of saying, I know how much I'm going to invest, I said, how much should I invest? So I know what I want. I want $8,000 in the future. I know the interest rate being offered, which is 6.5%, and I know how long I want to invest the money, which is 3 years. So you can see here, the P is the question mark. I don't know what it is, but I know A, R, and T. So putting this formula together, I have 8,000 is P times 1 plus 0.065 times 3. Now you have 2 choices of what to do next. Here's how I decided to do it, is just say I'm going to throw this in my calculator all at once. To get p by itself, I need to divide by the 1 plus 0.065 times 3, and I didn't bother to go ahead and put that value 1 plus 0.065 times 3 in my calculator yet. I said let's do it all at once. So I have 8,000, and then I'm going to divide by parentheses. So make sure you put that parenthesis in or you'll get a totally different answer. I can see the amount I need to put in is $6,694.56. You should be kind of checking your answers, even if you're just doing a little bit of mental math here and thinking the amount you're investing has to be less than the amount you have in the future, right? That's the whole idea of invest. It's going to grow. So if you got a number greater than 8,000, it means you did a calculator mistake, like you didn't use the parentheses like you're supposed to. So pay attention to that. Ask yourself simple questions to make sure that your answer that you're getting is correct. So let's try another one. Let's say we needed quick cash. So we decide to pawn a necklace for $250. And 1 month later, we want our necklace back, and they charge us $263 to retrieve the necklace from the pawn store. So we want to find the interest rate charge for the loan. So we could do A equals P times 1 plus RT, because we know this A in the future, we pay $263 based on the P $250 that we got. And we know the time that elapsed was 1 month, so that's 1/12 of the year. So I'm putting all the pieces in. A was $263, P was $250. I keep that 1 plus R I don't know, and time was 1/12. So I just need to kind of peel apart this formula and get R by itself. So the very first step would be move the $250. As you're moving things, you're always doing the opposite of what it looks like right now. So right now it looks like $250 is being multiplied by this parenthesis. So the opposite of multiply would be divide. So my next step, you can see I divided. And I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it as division for now. So we think, okay, now I could drop the parenthesis because nothing else is there. And I think, what's the next thing I want to move? I want to move this 1. Because it came out nice, this nice little decimal, it didn't kind of go lagging on. I went ahead and put that in my calculator. 263 divided by 250 was 1.052, because then I can easily move this 1 by subtracting and have 0.052 is R times 1/12. So I need to get rid of this 1/12. So I think, what's the opposite of divide by 12? It's multiply by 12. I multiplied 12 times 0.052, which just left me R. This 12 would cancel on this side. Multiplying that through gave me 0.624, which is 62.4%. That's really large for amount of interest, and I think I was very generous there. Pawn shops really do charge more than that.